Hello there, and welcome back for another video on probability. We are in the last section of the notebook. We have already talked about experiments, outcomes, and tree diagrams, and we are up to some more definitions and a calculation. So you will need a calculator for this page. I'm using the Casio FX260. And so the keystrokes that I'm showing you are for that calculator. You will have that one if you're taking the high set. You'll be able to access that calculator. So I wanted to show you how to do these on the calculator so that on test day you will be familiar. So the first thing we need to talk about is a factorial. And this little fella is something that looks kind of scary if you don't know what it means. So let me give you the definition and then I'll explain to you what it looks like and how to work with it. So a factorial is a product, or the product, which means there's multiplying involved. The product of a series of all descending, which means getting smaller, consecutive positive integers, don't panic, from a given starting point. And I know that probably makes no sense at all, but it will. Just hang with me for a second and I'll help you figure it out. Okay, here's the word problem. Suppose you have 8 songs you want to put in a playlist. How many different ways can this be done? So what you will need to do is find, first of all, our starting point is 8 because that's what they gave me in the problem. And the symbol for factorial is an exclamation point. So this kind of looks funny. If you're reading along and it says to find 8 and an exclamation point, and you're thinking, how in the world, or what in the world is that talking about? So we want to find 8 factorial. And that's how you would say that, 8 factorial. And here's what it means. 8 factorial is the product, so there's multiplying, of a series of all descending consecutive positive integers from a given starting point. So what's the starting point? 8. What is descending? That means going down. So if you're going down from 8, you would go to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can't go any lower. These are positive integers, not 0. 0's not positive. 0's not positive or negative. So all we can do is start at the starting point, which they'll give you, and then you go down from there until you get to 1. And then product means, what's product? Multiply. So 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And you can type that in your calculator. That's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and do that just to show you this will work. So 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So there are a lot of these. There are 40,000 320 ways that you could set up your playlist. Do you want to draw a tree diagram for this one? If you do, have at it. I do not. Can you imagine how many branches that thing would have? Okay. So 8 factorial equals 40,320. And a factorial is the product of the series of all descending consecutive. That means in a line. You don't skip anybody if they're consecutive. Positive integers, so you can't count 0. 0 is not positive. From a given starting point. And again, the starting point is given to you. So we start at 8, we count down to 1, and we multiply. Now, you can do this on your calculator, and I'm going to show you the steps to do that. The first thing that you're going to have to do is realize where this factorial key is on your calculator. And it's actually above the digit 3. If you look at the calculator, and let me see if I can do this. I'm not sure that I can. Yes, there it is. Here's a picture of your calculator. If you look above the digit 3, I'm going to zoom way in there. Do you see them right here? This is what we're after. You see that exclamation point? That is some number factorial. Let me try this. You see it right there. It's above the 3. That's the button we're looking for. So let me get us back to the page that I need to be on. Sorry, that was kind of a wild hair idea, but it's okay. So here's how we do this. To put 8 factorial into your calculator, we're going to first say all clear. And you put in the number 8 because that's your starting point. You shift because we're after the thing that is above 3. And press the 3. The shift is going to make it go to this. It's not going to put a 3 in. It's going to put in the factorial. And equals, and I believe I've given you an extra box there. Sorry about that. So I'm going to do all clear. 8 shift 3 equals 40,320. So you can do it longhand by setting up your formula up there, or you can do it with the calculator. And either way, you will get the answer that you need. Okay, permutation. This is another way to do some probability. Let me give you the definition of a permutation. A permutation is a selection of objects or values in which order is important. An example of this would be a horse race, where if you're betting money on something, the order that those horses finish is very important. So a permutation is a selection of objects or values in which order is important. Okay, here's the problem. There are 10 horses in a race, but only the top 3 win a prize. How many possibilities exist for each place, starting with the first? Okay, I'm going to show you longhand and then I'll show you this formula. In fact, I'm going to move this down because I need the space. I'm sorry about that. So here's what this is saying to me. There are 10 horses in a race, but only the top 3 win a prize. So we're interested in the first place winner, the second place winner, and the third place winner. So let's think about this. We're at the racetrack and here come the horses. There are 10 of them running strong. So there are 10 possibilities for first place. Any one of the 10 could be the winner. But once you take out the winner, there are only 9 possibilities for second place. And once you take out first and second place, there are only 8 possibilities for third. This is a permutation, and we're going to multiply to get our answer. So we're going to say 10 times 9 times 8, and that's 720 possible finishes. And if you're one of those 3, you win a prize. If you're not one of those 3, you don't win a prize. Okay? And quite honestly, this is how I would do permutations. This is the easiest way that I know to show you. And I thought I'm just not even going to show you the formula, but then I know some of you are going to college, and I want you to know this formula so that when you get to your college class, you will have seen this before. So this is the permutation formula, and it looks a little bit funny. Okay, what it's saying is P, permutation, number, the number of horses or whatever you're talking about, and you are going to choose R, a certain amount. They just use the letter R. So the way that you read this is number and choose. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Just bear with me here. If you're just doing high set, or if I shouldn't say just doing high set, that's a big deal. If you're doing high set, you can do it the way I just showed you. But for those of you who are college bound, this one may come into play. And you can do this on high set too if you want to. So what we're saying is that P, permutation of 10, and how many do we want to choose? 3. There are 10 horses, and we're choosing the top 3. All right? If you can get that set up, if you can get that far, you can do this on your calculator, okay? And that's why I'm going through all this. Here's the general formula in yellow. We want to know we have 10 horses and we're choosing 3 of them, the top 3. If we were looking at the top 4, we would say 10 choose 4. Whatever you're choosing is that second number. And here are the calculator keystrokes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to press is all clear. That's very important. And I'm having to figure this out too, so bear with me just a second. All right, so we're going to say, yes. First thing we're going to put in is the number of horses in our race. So this is all you have of whatever it is. There are 10 horses running in this derby. Then you're going to hit shift because I am interested in what's above the number 1. And let me go back there. It's not the number 1 that I care about. It's what's above it. And do you see that it says number permutation R, NPR? That's what we're after. So we're shifting to get to that. So 10 horses, shift 1, I'm choosing 3. So 10 choose 3 equals. All clear, 10 shift 1, 3 equals 720. Okay. And we're going to do some more of these problems on the next page. I will walk you through both the calculator and I believe the longhand if it's not too terribly long. We'll look at those. But you're going to see some more examples of these on the next page. Okay, I will see you in the next video.